The Case of the Vanished Necklace. In the small, peaceful town of Greenwood, there lived a young boy named Jack. Jack was known for his curious nature and his love for solving mysteries. One day, a big mystery unfolded in Greenwood that captured Jack's attention. It all started when Mrs. Wilson, the town's beloved librarian, reported that her precious necklace had vanished. This necklace wasn't just any ordinary piece of jewelry. It had been in her family for generations and was very dear to her. She was very sad and worried. Jack heard about Mrs. Wilson's problem and decided to help. He went to his friend Emma, who was always ready for an adventure. "Emma, Mrs. Wilson's necklace is missing. Let's help find it," he exclaimed. Emma, excited, agreed immediately. Their first stop was Mrs. Wilson's house. The house was old and had many rooms. Mrs. Wilson welcomed them and showed them where she last saw the necklace. "I placed it on my table last night, and this morning it was gone," she explained, looking around her living room. Jack and Emma started their investigation by asking Mrs. Wilson some questions. "Did anyone visit you yesterday?" Jack asked. Mrs. Wilson thought for a moment and said, "Yes, Mr. Jenkins. The plumber was here to fix the sink." With a new clue, Jack and Emma went to speak with Mr. Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins was surprised to hear about the missing necklace. "I didn't see any necklace while I was there. I was busy with the pipes," he said. Jack noticed that Mr. Jenkins seemed honest. They thanked Mr. Jenkins and left, thinking about their next move. As they walked, they saw Mrs. Wilson's neighbor, Mrs. Garcia. Mrs. Garcia loved gardening and was often outside. "Hello, Mrs. Garcia. Did you see anything unusual at Mrs. Wilson's house yesterday?" Emma asked. Mrs. Garcia paused her gardening and replied, "Well, I did see a cat near her window last night. It was a big, black cat. It looked strange because it kept staring into the house." This was an interesting piece of information. Jack and Emma decided to check around the house for any clues. As they looked through the garden, they found a piece of broken necklace chain near the window. "This must be from the necklace," Jack exclaimed. They were getting closer to solving the mystery. Just then, they noticed a black cat sitting on the fence. It was watching them with curious eyes. Jack had an idea. "Let's follow the cat. Maybe it knows something we don't," he suggested. They cautiously followed the cat, keeping their distance. The cat led them to an old shed at the edge of the town. Inside the shed, they found a small hole in the wall. Jack used his flashlight to look inside the hole, and there he saw something shiny. It was the missing necklace. The mystery was finally solved. It turned out that the cat had taken the necklace, attracted by its shiny appearance. Jack and Emma carefully retrieved the necklace and returned it to a very grateful Mrs. Wilson. "I can't thank you enough, Jack and Emma. You two are amazing detectives," Mrs. Wilson said with a smile. Jack and Emma felt proud of their accomplishment. They had solved the mystery and helped someone in need. That evening, Jack and Emma sat under a tree, discussing their adventure. They were happy to have helped and excited about solving more mysteries in the future. In Greenwood, they had become known as the young detectives who could solve any mystery that came their way.